Hey there, Syndrones. Today, I want to talk with you about synthesizer spending habits. Now, shout out to Steve Olafson. I hope I got your name right. He contacted me on patreon.com and gave me this idea for this video. So, Steve Olafson, thank you so much. And I'm hoping I'm not butchering your name. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures. This is the human side of synthesis, and I hope you guys to join me here each and every video. All right, so spending habits of synth drones, and then there's the significant other, the person in your life. It could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be your partner, it could be just your roommate. I don't know. But what if you have a spending problem or a spending habit that isn't necessarily a problem, but it's spending nonetheless, and that has to do with synthesizers. Well, the focus that I want to bring to you today is that spending in a relationship is a very serious topic, and if you take it lightly, well, you're probably going to get yourself into one of the biggest, largest problems of a relationship. And I'll tell you what that is. That is arguing over money. Arguing over money is probably the biggest topic people choose to fight over. So here goes. Now, in my own relationship with my wife, I have to tame her. She wants me to buy everything. And as you can tell, let me turn on my machines back here, by the way, so you guys can see. I've got one switch here that turns everything on. It's pretty cool. Yep, one magic button here. And as you can see by all of the gear, this isn't even all of it. I have stuff packed away. My wife likes me to buy things. And I have to tell her, no, no, no. And you know how hard it is for me to be looking at the synthesizer that I'm drooling over, telling my wife no? It's very difficult. And these are problems that occur in relationships over and over again, whether it's the spender who's always saying yes, or the partner that's always saying yes. Money has to be controlled. With that being said, what if you have this scenario where your partner does not want you to spend money? What if they're constantly arguing with you about money? Well, there can be a couple of reasons as to why this is happening. I don't know you any more than you know me financially. But I can tell you that if somebody in your life is reluctant to allow you to spend on synthesizers, ask yourself a couple of questions. Are you really short on money, or is this just an excuse when they say that we don't have the money for you not to buy the synthesizer? If you are short on money, well, that's the big problem right there. You need to make more money to buy more things. However, in many cases, I hear that people tell me that their partner doesn't want them to buy synthesizers, but they'll let them buy just about anything else. You could be facing a jealousy problem. I was married to a woman who hated it every time I touched the guitar. She would make little comments like, I wish your fingers would touch me the way your guitar gets touched by them. And this was jealousy. She didn't want me to buy any new guitars. She didn't want me to buy anything that pertained to the guitar. And she didn't want me to spend any time on the guitar. And it wasn't until later in our relationship that I got her involved with the guitar that she actually started allowing me time without a fuss. Now, I didn't teach her the guitar. I didn't let her hold the guitar or play the guitar. That's not how I got her involved. What I did is I asked her to come along with me when I was practicing and, spend time with me. And when she would talk, which would be quite a lot while I was trying to practice, I would always take time to answer her. In other words, I was including her. She felt left out. She felt ignored. She felt uncared for. She felt second place. If you have a situation in your relationship where your partner is allowing you to spend money in other areas, but not on synthesizers or related gear, it could be there's a jealousy problem, and it could partially be your fault. You have to take some of the responsibility. You can't just say, you're jealous and you don't care anything about what I care about, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to work in a relationship. And if you care about your relationship, and I hope you do, I hope you care more about your relationships than your synthesizers, because people are very, very important, and they should never come second to inanimate objects and whatnot. With that being said, your synthesizers are important to you too, and that other person needs to respect that as well. So a conversation of just talking it out and listening, more listening than talking, could help you guys come to an agreement about what the real problem is. Now, again, if it's a money problem, you're going to have to find a way to get more money in to the household so that you can buy the synthesizers that your partner is not allowing you to get. Now, I'm only talking about an emotional blockage here. Finances are a whole different story about how to obtain money. I mean, I get my money probably totally different than the way you get your money. As long as it's all legal, hey, we're all happy, right? With that being said, though, we have to have a serious conversation with our partners and get to the root of it. And throwing accusations out there and putting blame and not taking any responsibility is really not going to make it happen. Including the person in on what you're doing, or just inviting them to be included. For me, it took me bringing my wife, who was never against my synthesizers, but it took me bringing her in here and showing her what I was doing. And the funny thing is that, you guys probably already watched some of my videos where I talked about a devastating divorce in 2005 and how I lost everything. And then I got remarried and I had to get everything all over again and build from ground zero. I told my wife that story as well. I shared with her how hurt I was. And sometimes, especially for guys, it's important for us to open up, to show our feelings, because our feelings can come out as anger many times, and resentment and bitterness. And sometimes it's better just to talk with our counterpart, to let them know how we feel, and tell them sometimes we don't even know how we feel. I used to tell my wife, she would ask me, how do you feel about all that? You lost everything. And I would say, angry, upset. And, she actually corrected me. She said, I don't think you're angry. I think you're disappointed. I think that you were chasing a dream and you let it, slip through your fingers through bad choices, along with bad choices that your ex-wife made. So your dreams kind of went through your fingers, and you feel disappointed, you feel left down, and you feel a little hopeless right now. And she said, thank you for sharing this with me. Let's talk about getting you back to where you used to be and going from there. And that's how it started, with a conversation about how I was feeling. And like I said, I didn't even know how I felt. It took my wife to identify my feelings for me. And she was right. I was feeling disappointed. I was feeling hopeless. I was just feeling like, man, my dream had slipped through my fingers. And I was pushing a lot of it on myself, but I knew that, it takes two to get married. It takes two to get a divorce. So if you want to stay married or stay in your relationship and stay in your partnership, you're going to have to make a conversation about what you love outside of that relationship, because we are who we are when we are in our studios. We are a different animal. When I come into my studio, I'm a different person than I am in my marriage. I'm not a great person. I'm not a better person. I'm not a horrible person. I'm just a different person in here. And I had to learn to invite my wife into my studio and share with her what I'm doing. When she saw how happy it made me, she wanted to make me happier. And it just really came to the point where it was like she supported me, to now she's overzealous. And I have to be careful. I can't just tell her I like this synthesizer, I like that synthesizer, because she'll want to go out and get them for me. In fact, just to give you an idea of how some of this can backfire on you, I told her a story about having a Mortal Kombat arcade machine in my house 25 years ago, and how I missed it. And she went out and she got me the new arcade miniatures that are coming out in the stores. She just went out and bought it. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? We have no room. All of my room is taken up here in the studio. But she's like, we'll find a way. And you see, so talking with your partner about finances is very important. And her and I have had talks about spending too much and getting too much. And now we're in the process of downsizing. I'm even considering downsizing some of my synthesizers. Again, I seem to be in a loop. I sell them, I buy them, I buy them, I sell them. And it's because it seems like I've always got too many. And I think the first person you need to speak with before your partner about spending habits is you. Because I need to have a talk with myself as well. Anyway, I hope that this video has helped you. And again, thank you, Steve, for the topic. Until next time, I'm Pure Ambient Drone. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, check out the videos that should or have already popped up on the screen, and pureambientdrone.com. pureambientdrone.com is the place where you will find links to all of the places I'm associated with to do with synthesizers. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.